Hello, today I'm going to talk about the new Mass Managed Data Loader. This is brought to you by IBM Bob and myself, Tim Collins. So these are all the different tabs of this data loader. The first thing I'm going to do is do a config check. Make sure all the object structures are in place, make sure the parent-child relationships are in place, and make sure all the relationships are in place. You can see these are all the object structures being used for each one of those tabs and what they all do. So this is all checks out, everything's green, I don't have any red marks, so I'm good to go. So let's start with Location Wizard. Now this wizard is a way to create realistic location drill down along with realistic assets for those locations. So what I'm going to do here is show you, these are all the different industries we have in the tiles. Each industry has a segment and asset class. So if we were to go to like utilities, next, electric transmission, distribution, gas distribution, and so on. So if we select one of those and go next, these are our asset classes within that segment. So if we do pipeline segments and go next, you can see the location drill down that's going to be built. The top level is going to be utilities, the second one gas distribution, and the pipeline segment. Those are going to be the locations that I'm going to load. So just simply load into Maximo. You can see that those have now been loaded. So let's take a look really quick. This is the right environment. It's logged me out. So I'm going to log back in. Now let's go to locations. And I've already forgot the locations. It's utilities. So I'll just simply go here. There's my utilities. If I click on the drill down, this is the old drill down, but you can see the utilities, gas distribution, and pipeline. So it actually built my location hierarchy. Now let's go to the next step. So the next step is the actual wizard. Now I'm going to save this location because this is where I'm going to want my assets to go. So let's go to the asset wizard. And now I'm going to change my configuration, which you can do up here at the top. You can change your site, org, or location. So I'm going to change my location to the pipeline location because that's where I want my assets to go, right? So this works the same way. I have all my different industries, segments, and classes. So if I go utilities, next, gas distribution, next, and pipeline segments. Now I can select more than just 5 assets, but for now we're gonna do this. So I can do a preview. There's all my different pipes with mile markers. So these are all realistic assets loaded for that specific industry and segment. Now I know there's no asset type in there, so I can create an asset type in the asset type domain and have it selected on that specific asset. All right. Same with classifications. I want the classification on there. Meters really doesn't, I guess there are probably some meters associated with the pipeline, but this is just a lookup of 179 meters that I have in this particular environment. So now let's look at the next tab, spare parts. So this is all the spare parts that I'm going to add to this asset. And again, this will load it in Item Master. It'll load it in Inventory. It'll do all the approvals for the orgs and site, and it'll also add it to a storeroom. So cool things there. I can add a row too if I want to. I can add a row and put Tim's asset or whatever in there, and that will go through the process of Item Master, Inventory, and storeroom. So the last thing here is, which is the cool feature, is I can add an image. Now I'm not sure I have a pipeline image for this particular case, but I might have a pig launcher. I think I do, but I'll show you how the functionality works. So I add my image. So that image is going to be added to all the assets along with the asset type and the classifications. So now I just load in Maximo. And now it shows you everything being loaded, all the items being loaded, all the assets being loaded, and the classification and the asset type. So let's look at these. It looks like it's PIP. So let's go into Maximo and take a look. So let's go to Assets. We'll filter on PIP. There's my pipeline segments. If I go into it, I can see that, there's my pig launcher, which it would have the pipeline image if I would have had an image. Again, it added my asset type to the domain and to the record. Spare parts, it added all my spare parts. And again, specifications with pipeline segments are all loaded on this particular asset. If I were to look at the drill down now, again, this is the old drill down, but if I open up the drill down, I can see that, there's my location, show path to top. It comes down here. You can see that there's assets on this last segment. And if I click on the assets, those are all my assets within that location. So again, really cool way to quickly load industry solution data. If you have a demo with a specific data that needs to be shown, you can easily do it that way. So now let's go a little bit further. So let's take one of those assets. Let's just take this PIP 001. Let's say you want some historical work for that. Well, we can do that, right? So the next tab is to create history work orders for this specific demo. So if I filter on assets, my PIP asset, there it is there. I'm going to go ahead and select it. I'm going to do 10 work orders, I guess. I can do more, but for this particular case, I'm just going to do 10 with the range from 2023 to 2026. I can put failure codes on there. If there are failure codes related to that pipeline, I'm not going to put any on there. And then I just hit preview. And I can see all those 10 work orders that have different dates, different priorities, different labor costs, and material costs. So let's just load those into Maximo. So you see here, it's loading all the different work orders. Now we can go to that PIP 001 asset and look at the, I think we might have to refresh it, the historical information for this particular asset. So we look at work. There's all the historical work orders for that particular asset. So pretty cool stuff if you're going to do a demo and you have to load data quickly. All right, so let's move on to the next tab. Let's move on to the create schedule work orders. So this is a way to package up industry specific work orders in a package for you to save the query and go put them in one of the schedule applications, whether it's scheduler, assignment, whatever that scheduler app may be. This will generate the query and you'll be off and running. So again, we'll choose an industry. We'll go and choose gas distribution again and go ahead in the pipeline segments. Okay, we can create as many work orders as you want. I've got 5 here selected. PMs, priority 2s. We can prefix it if we want to. Report date and target start and target end date. And I can also spread the days between work orders. We're just going to do 1 day here. I'm not going to include the task in the schedule, but I do want to create a WOTRAC query so I can take that query and put it in whichever scheduling app I'm going to use. And again, we're going to include the planned labor. So we generate a preview. There's our group of work orders that we're going to use for scheduling. and then we hit load, and it loads those work orders up along with 5 tasks and 2 labor lines. All right, so it looks like those are loaded. So let's go to work order tracking and take a look. Okay, work order tracking. Let's look and see if it created our query. And there it did. Pipeline segments for Tim Collins. And if you notice, it's not public, so we won't gum up a bunch of stuff. So go ahead and select it. There's my 5 work orders. And we come and look at the plans tab. There's all the different plans for the pipeline. There's my mechanic and electrician and my assignments that are waiting to be assigned. So there you go. That's the scheduler tab. Now the other tabs are interesting. The asset and items actually have bulk loads where you can do individual assets, or you can type them in like a spreadsheet, or you can do a data upload. So I think I have, I don't know if I have any. Yeah, I've got one in here. So basically, when you upload the CSV, it gives you a view of what you're loading. This is just one particular one. I'm not going to load it at this time, but this is how you can load, 1,000 work orders or whatever by just doing a CSV file. So same with items. Items is the same way. You can do items on the spreadsheet look, or you can upload them through a CSV. Now the items, again, when you load an item, it loads it into master, it loads it into inventory, it assigns it to a storeroom, and it makes all the approvals for the organ site. Locations, just straight loads. Job plans the same way. And one of the other cool things is this demo script, right? So if we use that same industry specific that we've used all through this demo, we can go ahead and click utilities. We can choose gas distribution, and we can choose pipeline segments, and boom, it creates a demo script, right? It has a scenario for the pipeline segments. It has capabilities demonstrated. It has a demo walkthrough, and then it has the key talking points for that specific demo. So that's it. That's the Mass Managed Data Loader by IBM and Tim.